I've got 3 different camera shots to show you today in regards to this holographic image we keep seeing at Point Halloran. Now, as I've said before, I've got a friend in Melbourne who I've made, using YouTube, and he's a very good. He's got a very good analytical mind, and we both went through it about a couple of hours ago for about 3/4 of an hour looking at it. His name's Stroppy Me, and as I said, he's very good with his analytics and just for bouncing things off, really. We like to look at these together and see if we're seeing the same things, or we try to debunk them more than anything, because there's no point putting anything up that's rubbish and stressing people out. So have a look at his website, YouTube site, Stroppy Me. He does some really good stuff, and he helps me out tremendously to do this stuff, which helps everyone else out. Look, I'm not going to show you the suns and everything else. I think we've done them to death. To be honest with you, they haven't changed, and if you really want my honest opinion, I think they've gotten a hell of a lot worse. The 3 sites we're looking at, sorry guys, I forgot to say, it's 159 WAST, and it's the 12th of the 5th, 2016. So I am recording this day today from the archive footage on all 3 of these Australian weather cams. We're doing Point Halloran, Tamworth, which is in New South Wales, which is ironically where I grew up as a young guy, from about 12 till 22, age 22, and haven't been back. And this is now where I live, Perth, in Western Australia, Jandakot Airport. So what caught our attention today was, in the past with this holographic image, the best evidence that we can do is to try and find it again somewhere, anywhere, whether it's on the other side of the world, here, or whatever. So what I'm going to show you today is what Stroppy Me and I have gone through. And we both seem convinced that, which is not easy, by the way, because we throw a lot off each other and try to actually convince each other it's not. So we're convinced that what we're seeing with this holographic image is something, not just nothing. We're now convinced that this is actually a reflection of an object. I didn't say it was Nibiru, by the way. An object at the back of the sun. Because remember, if you've got a tennis ball in your hand or a globe, excuse me, we all seem to forget that the sun is a 360-degree object, unless someone can show us that it's only half. So what that would mean is that anything that's close enough to the back of the sun, if it was emitting its own light and extreme light, then it would bounce off the sun, and the sun would do the same thing. And collectively, both of those images, or both of those rays, would emit up and out. Now, I'm going to prove that to you in a minute, so you just got to watch a little bit further. So this here is a holographic image that's being represented from the back of the sun out here somewhere. That's what we think. Now, we've been watching it for a while now. So let me go to the next one, which is Tamworth in New South Wales. Don't worry too much about the sun coming up, like I said. I'll go to page 7. Now, for practicality's sake, we're going to stick to the same time zone. So let me go back to this one, and I'll put it on 8:01. You'll see why in a second. 7:30, 50. Sorry about this. Should have done it at the beginning, really. Oh, bloody hell. Now look at this. This is a cracking shot. Struth, that's fantastic, isn't it? Look at that. That just reinforces what we're saying. Now, you might notice that the sun goes up that way somewhere, but this object does not move. Does not move. In actual fact, if you look at Strop's page, he's got a fantastic timeline event where you can actually see this thing spinning, actually spinning. And that's what this thing does. If you look at the time lapse, it spins the opposite direction of our Earth, which is a bit of a worry. So that's 8:01. That picture there is 8:01. Now let's get the 8:01 image from here, right? What are we up to? 7, 9. Now, I'm going to draw everyone's attention to this here and these rays, these red rays that are coming up, or the pinkish, hazy ones that are coming out the back. Now, what I would draw everyone's attention to is the sun. Have a look at the sun. Can you see the way the rays come out here from the sun? Can you see that these are not forming part of the sun's rays? These are actually at a different angle as well from the back. This is probably not a good indication of what I wanted to show you, but when you go through these are actually at the back of these. Can you see how the white is actually cascading over the ones at the back? Now, I'll go through another image later, which is going to come up anyway, to show you exactly what I mean. Now, let's go through this. Note that one, that one. Look, they're both in the same position relative to the sun. Let me go back to this one. I'll wind it down a bit. See that? They're in exactly the same position. And what we believe is that this is a more truer indication, because this orb is actually quite large. It actually goes right around. Now, what we believe is that this is a better indication of what is behind the sun. We haven't figured out what these are. If Christopher's watching, Chris, I'll show you a video next time, mate. Young Chris got a hold of me and did an excellent piece on my video, which I'll bring up later. But if you're watching, Chris, wouldn't mind just doing a still capture on that, just to see what all this is, mate. See all these? I think they're planets. Now, I've got one other thing that I was going to prove to you guys, which I'll load up. I don't do stellarium. The reason I don't do stellarium is because, one, I'm useless at it, and two, I find this easy to use because I'm 52 and I couldn't be asked farting around with things I don't know how to use properly. And I haven't got anybody here to teach me, much to the point, so it is what it is. Right, the reason I love this is because you can actually see line of sight on it really easy. And it doesn't give you all the planets and everything else, but it gives me enough to work off. So you can see the alignment at the moment. It's pretty well dead in line. Venus, Mercury, Earth, and Mars. And at some point in that, you'll get the moon, which will either be this side or that side of the Earth. So there's pretty good alignment at the moment. So you can see there's nothing in front of the Earth except for Mercury that we can obviously see. It's obviously dead there, dead at the bottom of the sun, yeah? So Strop and I went through this morning, and we know, as I said, we spent a bit of time. We worked out that, such and such latitudes and, blah, blah, blah. We went through the whole thing, and what we came up was pretty staggering, actually. I'm coming up to it. You see my point about these lights? See, they are not forming part of this. This is an image on itself, if you want, or a light refraction on its own. Those are behind it, and if you look through this agendicott, they are actually at a different angle than these ones. They're flatter. But these are bending out and up, but these are actually bending the other way. They're flat. They're a lot flatter. You can actually see there, look, that the sun's rays are going past them, not in them or through them. So they're actually sitting at the back. Hope that makes sense. Okay, so here we go. Here's a big bombshell moment that we came up with. And here we go, guys. I can't believe we found this, but we did. So, say 831. And there is a holographic image of what is behind the sun. So let's go through that again. You have that one there. So start at the beginning. Here's a holographic image from Point Halloran, which we have assumed, thought was a reflection of something. There's another one. I'll see if I can find a better picture for you. Oh, no, I won't. Hang on. And there's the last one. Now, there is a better picture of that. Where you're going to go, oh my God. But don't start getting in your car and driving away yet, folks. There's plenty of more stuff to come yet, I would imagine. Right, this is a beautiful shot. Can't believe how beautiful this is. Look at that. You can see right across from edge to edge. And you can see the sphere. So, all the Anzacs, if you want to get put on the community list for Australia and New Zealand, send me an email at prepa, P-R-E-P-A, Aussie, A-U-S-S-I-E, at gmail.com. And I'll put you on the list. I apologise for not sending out the list at the moment, but you know, other things have taken precedence. Life's gotten in the road. But you know, you can quite clearly see that. Hey. One, two, three. So, a lot to take in there. I understand that. But you can quite clearly see everything there. Oh, shit. Sorry, guys. So let's go back to these, eh? I'll go back to Tamworth and I'll get a better shot for you. I can't remember the time. I'll try one of these. I think it was 8:08. You see that up there? Look. No, wrong one. There's one where it's a perfect image. Might be this one. That was 8:01. That was the one I was showing you. 8:10, I think it was. 8:12. Might have been this one. There you go, guys. Girls, see that sphere there? It goes right round there. You can't miss it. Well, ironically, I think this is a better shot because it's dark. There you go. Can you see that? It's, excuse my French, but it is absolutely fire-trucking massive. And it's getting bigger all the time. So, and I want to state categorically that at no stage have I ever said that it's Nibiru, or if you want my honest opinion, there's only a handful of people in the world that know where this thing is or what this thing is and what to do with it or what to do, you know, regardless of when it comes or not. And those people are working at NASA and the American government. And I honestly don't believe that they would give all the honest information to everyone either. There'd just be a handful of people that know the honest truth about this, what it's doing. So I don't know. Anyone that tells you that they do know, or anyone that comes on here and says, oh, this is Nibiru, yeah, definitely, well, prove it. I'm not saying it's Nibiru, but I'm saying it's absolutely something very, very weird. You know, I've caught it 3 times. And I caught it on camera in Canberra the other night as well. So just to clarify, that's where we are today, right now. You know, if you want to find better pictures, or if you guys, if someone out there 100% knows something different, or you can convince us that it's something else without all the smart ass and bullshit, thanks very much. You know, look at this picture. Like, you can actually see the same lines across this as you can in that one there. How's that? That's a beautiful shot in it. Look, you can actually see this complete sphere. So that there is sitting right behind there somewhere. So when the sun was spewing out a load of extra white light, that's because this was dead set right behind it somewhere, and it had made the sun freak out, probably from static or electromagnification, something like that. Okay, one last thing to do, which seems important. Now, I'm going to say this, the Lord's Prayer, in because I was brought up in a Judeo-Christian science of prayer, I guess, and I'm happy to say those prayers. Not because I'm Christian or Catholic or anything else, it's because it's probably the only ones I know. And it's always struck me as being a very good prayer, because it says exactly what you need to say. So this is the King James version, which I always use, or try to. It's been changed so many times, I don't think anyone knows what the traditional one is. Please don't send me any traditional Lord's Prayers and that, guys, please. And don't anyone send me things saying you have to pray to Jesus. And I'm praying to God. That's his Father. Isn't that enough? You know, I don't impinge on anyone else's religious views. I'd appreciate it if everyone just respected mine. Okay, so here we go. One last thing to look at. You know, you can clearly see that there now. That is absolutely massive, folks. That goes down there, you can see it, and it comes all the way up here again. It's a complete sphere. And if I've got to be honest, it actually looks like it's got a planet sitting inside there that's been refracted as well. And then you've got Perth, complete sphere. Now, what would be the coincidence chances and numbers at the bookies for that, eh? And they're all pretty well in the same position. These two are in exactly the same position. This one and that one are in exactly the same position, just about. Perth, maybe because of the longitude and latitude, it's a little bit over here somewhere. You know, Strop and I talked about that. We can't understand there been any problem with that. And then you've got the confirmation on solar system scope that there's nothing there. Right, folks, I think I've done my bit today, so I'll say the prayer, Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. God bless you all. Show your friends and family if you can. Important. Every person you tell and you convince, or not convince, but is enlightened, is another person saved. G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I've got 3 different camera shots to show you today in regards to this holographic image we keep seeing at Point Halloran. Now, as I've said before, I've got a friend in Melbourne who I've made, using YouTube, and he's got a very good analytical mind, and we both went through it about a couple of hours ago for about 3/4 of an hour looking at it. His name's Stroppy Me, and as I said, he's very good with his analytics and just for bouncing things off, really. We like to look at these together and see if we're seeing the same things, or we try to debunk them more than anything, because there's no point putting anything up that's rubbish and stressing people out. So have a look at his website, YouTube site, Stroppy Me. He does some really good stuff, and he helps me out tremendously to do this stuff, which helps everyone else out. Look, I'm not going to show you the suns and everything else. I think we've done them to death. To be honest with you, they haven't changed, and if you really want my honest opinion, I think they've gotten a hell of a lot worse. The 3 sites we're looking at, sorry guys, I forgot to say, it's 159 WIST, and it's the 12th of the 5th, 2016. So I am recording this day today from the archive footage on all 3 of these Australian weather cams. We're doing Point Halloran, Tamworth, which is in New South Wales, which is ironically where I grew up as a young guy from about 12 till 22, age 22, and haven't been back. And this is now where I live, Perth, in Western Australia, Jandakot Airport. So what caught our attention today was, in the past with this holographic image, the best evidence that we can do is to try and find it again, somewhere, anywhere, whether it's on the other side of the world, here, or whatever. So what I'm going to show you today is what Stroppy Me and I have gone through. And we both seem convinced that, which is not easy, by the way, because we throw a lot off each other and try to actually convince each other it's not. So we're convinced that what we're seeing with this holographic image is something, not just nothing. We're now convinced that this is actually a reflection of an object. I didn't say it was Nibiru, by the way, an object at the back of the sun. Because remember, if you've got a tennis ball in your hand, or